Look at your hands. For just a second, look at them. They've been working for years. Your back is tighter than it was last summer. Your eyes are a little more tired. Your hair might be thinning or turning gray. And for what? You did everything they told you to do. You got the degree. You signed the contract. You show up at 9 a.m. You trade your life, the only thing you actually own, for a digital number in a bank app. But here's the terrifying truth you feel in your gut but can't quite name. The harder you run, the further the finish line moves. In the next 60 seconds, your bank account will lose value. While you're watching this, an invisible thief is reaching into your pocket and shrinking your savings. You aren't just an employee. You are a victim of a 100-year-old financial conspiracy. A system designed to keep you just comfortable enough to never quit, but just broke enough to never be free. They want you tired. They want you distracted. They want you in debt. Because a man in debt is a man who can't say no. Today, I'm going to show you the exit. I'm going to deconstruct the math of your enslavement and give you the blueprint for the only thing the 1% fear: your independence. If you think this is just another finance video, you've already lost. But if you want to know why you're still struggling, despite doing everything right, stay with me. The cage door is open. You just have to be brave enough to walk out. Think about your grocery bill, not just today, but think back 5 years. Do you remember when you could walk out of a supermarket with 3 full bags of groceries for $50? Now, that same $50 barely covers a gallon of milk, some eggs, and a pack of chicken breasts. You feel it every time you swipe your card. It's a stinging sensation in your chest, a quiet anxiety that tells you something is wrong. But you've been told this is normal. You've been told that a 2% inflation target is a sign of a healthy economy. Let me tell you what that actually means. A 2% inflation target is a polite way of saying the government wants to steal 2% of your purchasing power every single year. It is a slow-motion robbery, but in the last few years, that 2% mask has fallen off, and we are seeing the real face of the monster. To understand why you are getting poorer, you have to understand what money actually is. Money is supposed to be a battery. It is a way to store the energy you spent working on Monday, so you can use that energy to buy a meal on Friday. But imagine if you charged your phone to 100% on Monday morning, and by Friday afternoon, without even touching it, the battery was at 30%. You would say the battery is broken. Our current monetary system is a broken battery. Since 1971, when the United States officially went off the gold standard, the dollar has lost over 98% of its value. This isn't an accident. When the government prints a new $1 trillion, they aren't adding any new houses or cars to the market. They are just adding more paper. So now, you have more paper chasing the same amount of goods. Basic math tells you the price must go up. But the people closest to the printing press, the big banks and massive corporations, get the new money first. By the time that money trickles down to your paycheck, the prices have already spiked. You are at the end of the line. You are the one paying for the party you weren't invited to. Now, let's talk about your silent partner. Between January and late April, every single dollar you earn belongs to the government. You pay income tax, you pay payroll tax, you pay social security, and then, when you finally take home what's left, you pay sales tax. If you manage to save enough to buy a house, you pay property tax, essentially renting your own home from the state forever. You are a silent partner in a business called the government, but you have no vote on the dividend. Why do the wealthy pay less? Because the tax code is not a list of punishments. It's a list of incentives. The government wants jobs and housing. If you provide those, they give you tax breaks. If you earn a salary, you are a consumer of resources, so you are taxed the highest. If you own an apartment building or a company, you are a provider of resources, so you are taxed the lowest. The wealthy don't have incomes, they have assets. A CEO takes a $1 salary and 10 million in stock options. When the stock goes up, he doesn't pay a dime in tax until he sells. And he never sells. He just takes a low-interest loan against his stock. Loans aren't taxable income. While you're struggling to save post-tax dollars, the elite are living on pre-tax debt. Why don't you just leave? Because of the golden handcuffs. The modern economy is built on debt. They want you to buy a house you can't afford with a 30-year mortgage. Because a man with a 30-year mortgage is a man who is easy to control. He won't speak up. He won't take a risk. He is a hostage to his own lifestyle. They've turned your life into a series of monthly subscriptions. Your car is a payment. Your phone is a payment. You don't own your life anymore. You're just leasing it from the bank. Then, they sell you the 401k lie. Give us your best years, and we'll let you be free when you're 65. Think about the cruelty of that offer. They want your 20s when you have energy. They want your 30s when you have ambition. They want your 40s when you have experience. And in exchange, they give you back your freedom when your knees hurt and your time is almost up. To get out, you must stop being a service provider and start being a system builder. In the history of the world, no one ever got truly wealthy by renting out their time. You need leverage. There are 3 types: capital, labor, and the most powerful one today, code and media. A YouTube video is a soldier. A line of code is a soldier. A digital book is a soldier. These soldiers work for you 24 hours a day. They don't get sick. If your income is tied to your physical presence, you are a slave to the clock. Stop asking how can I work harder and start asking what system can I build that works for me. I'm not telling you to quit your job tomorrow. That's emotional. Capitalists play with strategy. You need to start your double life. From 9 to 5, you work for your survival. But from 5 to 9 and on every Saturday and Sunday you work for your freedom. This is CEO time. Most people spend their weekends recovering from a week they hate. They drink to forget. They are just recharging their batteries so they can be plugged back into the machine on Monday. The owner uses his weekends to build. He builds a side business. He researches the market. He creates content. He does this until his asset income exceeds his expenses. This is escape velocity. 10 years from now, you'll be 10 years older. That is the only certainty. The question is, will you be 10 years closer to freedom, or just 10 years deeper into the trap? Will you look back and be proud of the senior manager title you had at a company that replaced you in a week? Or will you regret that you sold your best years to build someone else's empire? Time is the only asset you can never buy back. I could have $1 billion, but I couldn't buy back yesterday. You have today. You have right now. The system wants you exhausted. Tired people don't rebel. Tired people don't think. They just consume, sleep, and repeat. Don't go back to sleep. The blueprint is in front of you. The math doesn't lie. The only thing standing between you and the life you were promised is the courage to be different from the crowd. Are you ready to be free? If you've made it this far, comment "I own my future" below. It's a contract with yourself. Subscribe. The cage was never locked. You just had to look up. I'll see you on the outside.